Hello, everyone. We're looking nice and fancy today.
Well, not this screen, but we got a new logo at least.
We got new logo, new banners. We're moving up on the world. We are becoming the big YouTubers.
Working on
Big
Still working on stream layouts, but
Yeah, that'll come in a bit. We're gonna unify everything, make everything look nice and dapper.
yeah. Also fight big companies, which is part of being YouTube.
Yeah. People may or may not have noticed, but I believe it was the Rika Trap video
Yeah.
ended up getting the slap.
The
Got
big
the slap.
The big slap.
The big slap from the big boys over at the Katakawa boys have taken an eye
Trash
on our
tastes
channel.
themselves into my
Yep.
house.
Joey beat you down, and how dare you have footage from some Katakawa product in your video, you bad boy. So Ellie's been having fun fighting that to try and get that video back. So we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah. Well, YouTube says I have to go to school now, which is not that fun.
Yeah, you have to go back to school. It's gonna be fun. You have to relive your high school days.
I'm going to mail Kadokawa to see what's up, see if they even respond.
Probably not. We'll see how we go.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about it because we're a casual channel anyway.
I mean, I'm fine with one strike. I'm not nervous about that. It's more just annoying that, you know.
Well, it wasn't even a strike. It was just a slap.
Well, I made it a strike.
Yeah, because you decided to fight it.
Yeah.
Because you're like, damn.
I'm going to try and fight this. Oh damn! I got a strike.
Yeah. Because Katakawa said no.
Yeah, but I'm fine with it being a strike. It's all fine.
But anyway, so we have a video that I haven't watched.
Me neither.
That we decided what video we were gonna do literally 10 seconds ago. So as professional as we are, the professionals we are.
Yeah.
So I believe it is The Real Problem with Seasonal Anime by Zenote Taku Analysis. Channel I've never heard of before, which is good. It's always good to cover. It's always good to cover different people, new players. Because we've obviously
Yeah.
got the deep lore. We got the deep lore of Mother's Basement and Maname Matt, the wrong man himself. We got the deep lore, but it's always good to cover some new players in the field. So I'm assuming, even though I haven't watched the video, this is going to be about seasonal anime. I'm interested to see if it's going to be about the watch habits versus maybe the production side of things. Maybe he's going to make a point about the production. Who knows?
Well,
Who knows?
I've skimmed through it the tiniest amount, and I caught something about seasonal anime is not being talked about after a season ends, and that being a problem. Maybe.
Oh, that's gonna be funny. I think that's gonna be. Yeah, we'll probably have to get to that point when we get to it, because that sounds like a funny point to talk about. So anyway, I guess we'll stop stalling and we'll just get right into it, shall we? Let's get right into it.
The spring 2023 anime season has more or less wrapped up, but let's leave that season behind for a moment and go back a little bit to the fall 2023.
So this month, it's only a month old, this video, Max.
Yeah, which is not too bad. So anyway,
22 season instead. It's a time of widespread discussion and excitement, and there was reason for that after all. The Chainsaw Man adaptation was releasing, Mob Psycho 100
Chainsaw Man adaptation.
Well, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was previous season that he's talking about. I thought.
Oh yeah. Well, no, he said he's going back a year, I think. I'll just go back in the video again.
And go back a little bit. Season has more or less wrapped up, but let's leave that season behind for a moment and go back a little bit to the fall 2022 season instead.
Fall 2022.
Yeah,
is what he's.
So he's right. So the video itself is only a month old, but he's going fall back.
He's talking about. Yeah.
It's a time of widespread discussion and excitement, and there was reason for that after all. The Chainsaw Man adaptation was releasing, Mob Psycho 100.
Yeah, the Chainsaw Man adaptation. I could talk a little bit about that because I actually dropped that shit.
Oh no!
Chainsaw Mid. Okay. I should probably say I actually do like Chainsaw Man. I like the manga. I read the manga. The manga's really good. I think the anime didn't capture. I think the adaptation did not capture the feel of the manga. I think that it was. It almost feels like two different works, in a sense, because the manga of Chainsaw Man is very fast-paced. It's very, all right, go. Like you can blitz through Chainsaw Man. At least part one. Part two slowed down a bit, but part one was very. You could blitz through that in like a day, right? Because it's so fast, and it's like a fever dream. It's so fast, right? And the anime is a lot more. It's a lot slower. It feels a lot more Western in its directing and how they were trying to kind of emulate that style, which is stuff that the director himself has talked about. He talked about how he was inspired a lot by the MCU and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of Western influence within it, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Right, let me preface that. I'm not saying that as like a negative necessarily.
Well, the corruption,
however,
Western politics,
the corruption of the West and the Jap. No, I'm not making that point. I'm more saying that I felt like it didn't really mesh well with Chainsaw Man, because Chainsaw Man is the most anime otaku, big gore, big fights, big. People die everywhere. All the oh man, that character that we just met like a chapter ago, they're dead now. Fuck you, you know, you know what I mean? Like that's Chainsaw Man, right? It's very, you know, we got to go fast. We got to go through it. So when you take that manga, and then you slow it right the fuck down, and you try to turn it into this like Western drama type thing. I don't think it worked. I didn't like it.
So I do know that the anime skipped a fight between when Makima picked Denji up from the warehouse.
That was like very early on. It was like there was some stuff that was skipped. I think I only watched like the first 3 episodes or so.
I mean, if you're not going to watch the episodes, the ending of episode 5, I really liked 4 as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying there's bad. Like, I'm not saying it's all bad. I just didn't jive with it personally. So, and I think that the general audiences didn't either, because apparently it didn't sell very well. So,
well, that depends, right? Is the anime for the anime watchers, or is it for the manga? That's always
that's a good point. I mean, it is an adaptation. So, but the thing is I guess if it didn't jive well with general audiences and they didn't buy it either, I mean.
Well, I know most anime is an advertisement for the manga. So
yeah, it depends. It depends on what you're talking about, I guess. But anyway, let's. That was just a little sidetrack, I guess. So, Mob Psycho 100, I haven't caught up completely with. I'm
only watched the first 2 seasons. I didn't really feel need for the third.
I think I got like halfway through the third. I got through like this one arc with the broccoli, with the cult or whatever, which was well, it was good. Don't get me wrong, it was good, but I haven't fully caught up yet. So.
Season 3 was about to put a cap on a beloved franchise. Bleach was having its newest canonical anime installment after not having anything for a long time. Bocchi the Rock ended up being a show that nobody saw coming in terms of popularity and had a main character that so many anime fans related to. Akiba Maid War took on...
Yeah, Bocchi was like the sleeper hit of that season. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to adapt a 4-comma, you don't expect it to be, you know, a very flashy anime in the sense that Bocchi was.
I think, we could probably do a whole bloody cast on Bocchi, because Bocchi was really interesting.
Yeah, I just for the creative space where you have a 4-comma, you know, it's, you know, a setup, joke, twist, conclusion, but then to have live action camera shots of finding Bocchi beneath a rock, and there's a model Bocchi, and, you know, shifting art styles and scanned in
3D T-pose Bocchi tossed into the bricks.
The Unity brick.
Unity asset, yeah. There was a lot of experimentation in Bocchi. It was, on an animation perspective. I think also from the, you know, I think that, as he mentioned, it did resonate with a lot of people. You have the socially awkward, you know, socially anxious Bocchi.
Which is true of any time, actually, really.
Yeah, I think it resonated a lot with this current generation.
Well, Mob also resonated in a similar sense, I think.
Yeah. So now, I was gonna watch this Maid show. I think I don't know if I still have it, perfectly legally on my computer. I believe I was gonna watch it, but I never got around to it. So I wonder what he has to say about it.
On Yakuza-style storytelling in a 90s maid cafe setting and aesthetic, and the Eminence in Shadow became an isekai that even people who...
Kino!
Still have not watched a single second of it.
Kino is back on the main man. Listen. I am so fucking hyped to watch the next episode of season 2. I'm so fucking excited. It's so fucking good.
Well, I still intend to watch it because I hear decent good things about it.
Yeah, because I won't shut the fuck up.
Not just you though.
It's
fucking such a good fucking show. It's such a good show.
Don't normally gravitate towards isekai, gravitated towards. As was typical of an anime season, each new episode seemed to kick off a flurry of thoughts and commentary in forums, with people who were enjoying the season as best they could, and the people who were expending way too much social and mental energy talking back to that one person whose opinion is wrong for some reason. You know, the usual business. And then, like most anime seasons, once it ended, nobody really seemed to talk about any of this material again. It all seemingly vanished into the internet afterlife except for the niche subreddits or Discord communities centered around them, as the winter 2023 season came in and brought with it all new material. It wasn't just the popular things either. Even the more unwatched things like Hikari no O or The Fire Hunter, that managed to fashion for itself a bit of a cult following as it aired, just evaporated into nothingness. In the coming of the new anime season's dawn, the stuff of fall 2022 was left behind in a fading twilight. I'm obviously only one person, and therefore it is completely impossible for me to glimpse the full breadth of the anime community landscape. But ever since I started watching seasonal anime regularly back in winter 2021, this seemed to be a particular pattern ingrained into the anime-consuming internet public. The new season begins, everyone clamors to watch things and have discussions about how based, peak, mid, or trash a show is, and then seems to just cast all of that to the side and make room for the new stuff that the new...
We could...
I just wanted them,
yeah, because it was a big argument he was laying out, so we can't... It's not very proper to pause in the middle of it.
The general gist of what I'm getting at here is this man cares way too fucking much about the anime community.
Also, I don't really think even that his premise is all that correct, because, you know, Bocchi the Rock is still being brought up and drawn and referenced.
I saw someone tweet about that today, because Bocchi's getting a recap thing. It's like a recap movie. No, it's not like a movie, but like there's like a recap thing.
I saw a official Bocchi the Rock live thing on YouTube, and was a voice actor, I assume.
Oh yeah, did you see the stage show thing?
No, not anything.
That thing was wild, because they got the chick to get on stage with the guitar and actually play it. It was fucking great.
Oh, funny.
It was great. It was really cool. It was actually really cool. It was really, really nice. I probably posted it in the chat like fucking ages ago. But yeah, no. This is going to be interesting, because it's going to kind of get into my like hot take on the anime community, quote unquote. Right, my little. I think I've probably talked about this before at some point on the show years ago, maybe. But I am anti. Maybe not anti. Anti is probably the wrong word, but I am not very. I'm very passive when it comes to the community. Right, I don't interact with the anime community, because
I also have a very odd in on the anime community and how I got to
like
be
it's kind of like I'm at an aquarium and I'm like looking at all the fish, right? And you have all the fish swimming around in the aquarium, right? And I'm just kind of like, oh, that's some wild drama going on over there with those fish trying to eat that whale or something, you know what I mean? Like,
or the reverse, yeah.
But I'm like behind the glass, looking at the anime community, like swimming around in the fish tank, and I don't really interact much with this nebulous concept, right? This anime community, Ellie, right? I feel is.
It's always true for every community, really. You have the diehard, you have the YouTube makers, and then you have the mods and artists around that and layer, and then you have the avid fans, and then you have the casual fans, and then you have the guy who picks it up because
that's kind of the thing, right? It's like I really like this nebulous idea that there's some kind of collective consciousness behind the anime community. I think is kind of wrong, because 99% of people that watch anime are not even probably on the internet talking about it, right? Like the majority of people that watch anime are probably just quietly, like I usually do, right? Is I just quietly enjoy the thing that I'm watching and not give a shit about what random people on Twitter are saying about it.
Well, in that sense, I care quite a lot, because if somebody dares to get the definition of isekai wrong, I'll be there. If somebody dare just
draw your katana.
Yes.
Draw your katana. Time for a duel. Well, that's different though. Like I'm talking about like there are these people that seem to tie their personal enjoyment to like, this is the internet, the anime community, quote unquote, thinks this is mid or something, and that means that I should think it's mid, or the anime community, quote unquote, thinks that this is dope shit, and so I should think it's and they like kind of like osmosis into the school of fish almost that I'm watching, and I'm just sitting here thinking, damn, just like enjoy the show. But this is kind of getting a bit away from his point, right? Because his point is more along the lines of, right, so you have an anime season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anime season happens. Everyone's talking about what's airing in that season, which is natural because it's airing in that season, and because it's airing in that season, it's in that collective consciousness of fish, right? But then what happens is once the school of fish has eaten the food, right? The food being the anime season, right? I'm sticking with this fish tank analogy, right? I think it's a good analogy, so I'm going to stick with it, right? So they eat the food, and then all that's left is the scraps, right? And the scraps are and then the school of fish is gonna move on to the next anime season, and they're gonna stop talking about the shows in the season, right?
I mean, how many people bring up working?
Oh, that's an old one, yeah. I remember working.
It has 3 seasons in the 4th spin-off.
Yeah. See, I remember working. I'm not a fake
I like working, and of course it's not being brought up because there are other shows now. But if somebody would tell me, "Hey, what shows do you like? Do you have a good?"
You could go, yeah.
Working.
Yeah, you could go, working. Yeah.
3 seasons, finished story, has a spin-off if you want even more.
Yeah. So my issue with this is it's weird for me to relate because I used to watch seasonal stuff more, right? In terms of I would just watch all of the quote unquote the seasonal animus, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as I've gotten older and I'm no longer a teenager anymore, I'm no longer a wee little lad, and I no longer have the time to fucking watch like 10 animes a season. I don't watch things weekly as much anymore. Like there'll be like maybe a handful of shows I'll try to catch weekly, but a lot of the time I will make note of, hey, that's a show that looks interesting to me. I'll get around to that at some point, right? Like we were just talking about like that the Yakuza one, right? The Yakuza Maid one, right? That's one of those shows. It's like, oh, that looks interesting. There's some people are the fish are somewhat eating that one, they're eating the little kibble, right? That looks interesting. I might watch that in like a month or two, right? You know what I mean? Like once it's all out, and then I can watch it at my own pace. I don't have to watch it weekly. I can like watch 1 or 2 episodes a day or something, like I can just kind of sit down, get some food and chill out and do that, right?
Yeah.
So
I
had like
the thing he's going to I hear that he doesn't like how shows fade away into nothingness,
which is interesting to me, because why does that matter? Because it's not like the show actually is going to disappear. It's not like it is actually kibble in the fish tank, and once the fish eat the kibble, it's gone, right? It's not a cake that you can't have and eat too.
I remember working Kill the Kill. People remember Kill the Kill.
People are still arguing about Kill the Kill to this day.
I will argue Kill the Kill if somebody has a wrong opinion on Kill the Kill.
Literally last fucking week, people were arguing about Kill the Kill being a fucking deconstruction. It's a deconstruction parody of the fan service. It's not genuine. It's not. It's oh god. Like literally last week on Twitter, I saw people arguing about Kill the Kill. So
And
you
that
can't
is-
fucking tell me that Kill the Kill is like not still relevant right now. It's fucking wild to me.
Also, this is completely normal. In how the legend of King Arthur is getting reanalyzed and recontextualized every
Yeah.
time when some new graduate gets a doctorate in medieval storytelling.
Medieval fantasy shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
King Arthur reinterpretations. Do it every year. The more the better.
yeah.
Atlantis.
So,
How many times have you heard? Has the story of Atlantis been retold or reimagined?
yeah. So we're getting a little rambly here, I guess. But like, I'm trying to like tie this back into a coherent point. It's kind of hard. I just feel like a lot of this stems from this idea that you should be watching everything weekly, right? You should be interacting with the quote unquote community, right? And then it's bad that once the shows end, they fade away into nothingness, even though the show itself is still fucking there. You can still watch the show.
I assume that he will get to the point of why this is a bad thing. Either it's a bad thing because we won't appreciate actual good anime on a longer term, or
which is ridiculous because again, people are still talking about killing.
Yeah.
You know,
or
if an anime is good, if an anime is actually good, people are going to still talk about it. Fucking years after it comes out.
Yeah, so people won't appreciate the good show don't appreciate a good show amongst the show of a 5-year or a year period. People waste time because of peer pressure, maybe.
Yeah. All right, well we've rambled enough, I guess. Let's get back to it.
Season will bring. This abandonment of discussion of the prior anime season's shows is something that I honestly find dismaying and strikes me as being the real problem with seasonals that no one talks about enough. You'll hear a myriad of perspectives concerning problems with seasonals like the overabundance of isekai, cheap adaptations to try and cash in on a popular property, the idea of there being too much anime made, or that watching seasonals distracts you from the fact that everything made before 2000, because it's always the year 2000, was an anime wonderland. But these takes are a dime a dozen. Instead, I want to talk about what causes this particular cycle of anime discussion to happen, and what are perhaps some of the unintended effects and ripples that it creates. On the one hand, it's easy to understand why this happens.
Alright, can you pause real quick? Because his thing is, we don't appreciate or we don't further discuss anime.
Which is, again, this is like, this is the problem with the whole osmosis, school of fish problem, right? Because you and me, we talk about the anime.
Yes,
we talk about anime that are seasonal, but we also talk about anime that are not seasonal. Like, maybe I've, watched some thing recently that's not seasonal, and I'll be in the chat and I'll be like, hey, Ellie, I watched this thing. Have you watched that thing? And you'll go, yes, Naretsu, I have watched that thing. It was pretty mid or pretty good. Or,
this is my thoughts
whatever.
about what I thought it meant to.
Yeah, and we'll have a discussion about things because we're bros, right? Well, sometimes we're bros, sometimes we want to kill each other, but we're bros 90% of the
the
time.
earth and it will reach you, I swear.
One day you'll Yui death beam me across the sky, right? But so this is the people. I find it weird because this is why I don't like the whole nebulous anime community thing, because people have their friend groups, right? People have their group chats and their places where they discuss things or whatever. So I don't like this appeal. it's annoying because I have this like I have this nebulous concept of a point in my head, and I'm having trouble articulating it. Right? I have problems with this idea that you have to appeal to this nebulous group called the anime community for your discussion, rather than let's talk about this as bros in the group chat. You know, we're all anime fans. We like our anime.
So
we're all otaku
let me...
and we like our anime. Let's talk about the anime we've been watching or the manga we've been reading or whatever, right? Rather than going on Twitter and being like, "Damn, let's collectively as Twitter, we have to talk about Bocchi the Rock today."
No, Kekkaishi.
You know?
We need to talk about Kekkaishi.
Yeah, we have to talk about Kaikai. Yeah, it's
Do you
like,
know Kekkaishi? Do you know Kekkaishi?
No, I actually don't. What one was that again? That was
Kekkaishi is a manga series that started around 2003, and it had an anime in 2006.
Oh wow! Might as well be a boomer anime.
I remember Kekkaishi. I read it. I have volumes of Kekkaishi.
You're an old boy. No. I'm fucking with you. But this is what I'm getting at, right? It's like there's nothing stopping you from having your group of friends and talking about whatever fucking anime, right? Like, it could be seasonal, it could be not seasonal, it could be whatever.
I mean, I have video ideas that I never managed to make. Stuff like gender non-conformity in anime to be really fancy. You know that Kawaii Dake Janai Shikimori-san?
Ah, shit. I think I do.
The girl with pink hair that protecting her boyfriend all the time.
I think. Oh yeah. Yeah. I know the one. Yeah.
So
I haven't watched it yet, but
that is just basic role reversal, and the boy doesn't like being protected all the time. He wants to be protected sometimes. The girl wants to be cute for the boy, but the boy thinks that she's really cute when she's cool.
When she's cool, yeah.
But she doesn't want to be cool. She wants to be cute.
And that's a show that's had its season, came out, you know, and we could talk about that, like, without it having to be the new hotness of the seasonal thing, right? And that's what I mean. Like, I feel like I kind of want to know, like, what is he? Because he's obviously talking about, like, the osmosis of the anime community, right? Which is real, right? There is an osmosis of the anime community.
The herd, the moving force of anime always going forward.
But the problem with it is that it is nebulous, right? It is this kind of hard to define. Like, how do you even define the anime community, right? Is it the anime community on Twitter? Is it the anime community on Reddit? Is it the anime community on fucking, like, /A, right? Like what metric is this nebulous giant fucking, like, it's not even a school of fish, but it's, you know, it might as well be like a whale or something, right? Like, look, I mean, I guess school of fish would probably be more apt,
I would,
you would have all the separate, like, I'm imagining, you know, those giant fucking, like, schools of fish that whales eat and stuff, right? Like,
if you want an anime community, I would describe it as ant colonies.
Yeah, it's like you have all these different ant colonies, and they're all, like, separate but equal or some shit.
Yeah, all the same species.
Like, I recall, like, years back, we used to describe it as, like, separate tribes. Like, it's not this, like, oh, it's all one tribe called the anime. It's not centralized, right? You have all of these, like, little tribes, like the shonen fans, or the isekai fans, or the moe fans, or the
shoujo,
right?
The shoujo readers.
Yeah. You have all these, like, nebulous tribes that sometimes interact with one another, but most of the time are, like, separated, right? And so I have.
And sometimes Genghis Khan comes along.
Genghis Khan comes along and just unifies the fucking tribes. Yeah. hate some Pacific
or really
anime.
like Chainsaw Man, and then the group splinters once again.
Yeah. So I guess my problem I have is I just don't agree with the premise, I guess.
Well, in my feeling, going back to the video, my feeling is that he wants kind of monolithic, a more centralized discussion. He wants to, in this case, wants the anime community be a little bit more of a monolith, so we can have a larger discussion about a show, and we really dwell on it and discuss all the finer details of how Shikamori is really questioning gender and conforming, not conforming, and all that stuff. And I see the trouble I see already. To finish my point, the trouble I see already is that who decides when the conversation is over?
Or even like when it begins, and I was gonna interject there and say, like, being the anti-centralization man that I am, the idea that we need to centralize the anime community from the tribes to being that monolith, I think is probably why I'm not jiving with this. And that's probably why
I only see in discussions at the moment.
Yeah, like I'm having issues articulating what I mean. Like I have like this vague idea of what I'm like. I'm getting this vibe, right? I'm getting this vibe, and I'm trying to decipher the vibe, right? Figure out why I'm not agreeing with it. But anyway, let's see what he has to say. Let's keep going.
If you look at it from the perspective of the studio, entertainment is, more than anything else, an attention game. And with so many anime that are released in a given season, regardless of whether the shows are sequels, originals, or new adaptations of manga, light novels, or mixed media projects, every studio wants to have their work be the center of the conversation. Conversation leads to online traffic and free advertising through discourse, which leads to more consumer attention possibly being directed towards merchandising, and as a result, other publishers see a studio manage to put out a relevant product and want to ride the studio staff's talent and coattails. But the problem is that, eventually, the enthusiasm will inevitably die down to some degree as a result of the show finishing. This, subsequently, raises the issue of needing to drum up enthusiasm for whatever the studio produces next. Studios as entities are always looking ahead out of necessity for their continued business. As a result, once a show is done, a studio is
real quick, because I kind of feel that he wants everything to be Marvel, that everybody loves Marvel forever.
Yeah, there's this weird centralization argument going on here, and I'm not.
Well, it's kind of a sort of.
What he's explaining right now is basically just like the fact of the matter. Like he's not necessarily wrong, right? Like the studios are obviously trying to get your attention. They're obviously trying to hold that attention long enough for you to watch the show, buy the merch, engage with the media, right? And then once the enthusiasm of the masses, right, the nebulous masses moves on, they have to pump out the next thing that they want to try and get people onto, right? So I don't even necessarily disagree with him, when he's talking about this from like the studio perspective, because it's a business at the end of the day, right? You gotta do the businessy things. However, I don't know if I mean, we haven't quite gotten to the conclusion yet. Like, I want to know what his solution to this problem that he's made up is, right?
Yeah,
because that's what I want to know.
In a sense, I don't really see a problem. Besides that, I mean, it's kind of a poor studios. They have to work so hard for your attention. Is that my problem? Is that an audience problem, or is it we want to make more money problem?
Yeah, like, and I don't think he's going to go from that angle. I'm feeling, based on the vibe, he's going to take the angle of, it's sad that these good works are not getting appreciated for being good works long enough, right? And people are not, appreciate, which is kind of weird, because you always have the situations where, something will come out and then it won't be appreciated until like long after it comes out, and then people will go back. I think there's a few examples I could think of that, where it's like, people will be like, oh,
Suika game.
there's this. Yeah, there's this thing that came out, and then 2 years later, it's like, oh wait, that was actually good. We should talk about it, like there tends to be discussions around that. So I want to know. I mean, we still got quite a lot of video to go, so I'm hoping that he kind of. I want to like we're hearing the prescription. I want to hear the. I want to hear the
diagnosis.
The diagnosis and what's the cure going to be, right? What's the problem solver going to be?
Incentivized to place their fuller attention on the new thing that's releasing so that it can gain a following of its own and try to help recoup the cost of production. The effect of that is that we as consumers are hit with the newer, delicious possibilities of what the new season's dawning will bring. Now, for the great majority of anime viewers who try to keep themselves up to date on what's happening, myself included, there's only so much that can be seen at any time, so when the new lineup for the coming months unveils itself, we are left to parse out what we believe to be the possible diamonds in the rough, the possible treasures from all the flotsam and jetsam. I do not mean to frame this as saying that anticipation or getting excited for something that's going to air soon is bad, because it isn't. We should absolutely have things that we look forward to, keep up with news pertaining to industry matters, external and internal, and also be receptive to when people talk about a show that you might have ignored at the start of the season, but then decide it might be worth seeing after all. Rather, it's the idea of focusing so much attention on the future arriving that, once the future arrives, the immediate past is something to be left behind in the old toy box. Without the ability, time, or attention to process the anime season's content that just finished, even things that were beloved in the moment are discarded as yesterday's news. The effect is that the anime community develops a bit of a short-term memory problem. Let's actually just take...
Is that true?
Okay. Again, it's hard because I can't relate to that. Because he's talking about that, again, it's that nebulous idea of, the anime community has a short-term memory problem. Well, I mean, I liked Made in Abyss. I've watched all of Made in Abyss. Made in Abyss aired ages ago. I still like it. I still remember Made in Abyss, I'm sure there's definitely shows that I've probably watched that I've memory hold or I've, forgotten or I haven't, remembered in a long time, right? But that's just natural,
Well, the thing is that this is all in the end, this is all the decisions of the big companies to have 1,000 shows instead of a few big ones. I mean, it's kind of a reverse Marvel problem, in that Marvel, of course, pushed every small film out of theaters, while anime says, well, no, we need 1,000 small movies instead of 5 big ones.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess it's really hard because, like I said, I just don't, on a personal level, I don't relate to this problem, right?
Yeah,
which makes it really hard for me. It makes it really hard for me to empathize with the idea, right? Like that. Oh, the fact that quote unquote the anime community has gained a short-term memory problem because of the way that studios keep pumping out these shows, trying to get your attention, and that there's too many shows for any one person to watch, so they have to kind of pick and choose. Again, it's like I said, I only watch a handful of shows. Last season, I only watched Mushoku Tensei. There was nothing else that season that I was particularly interested in that I didn't think, if that does end up being good, I can just watch it later. There's probably some stuff that came out that was actually good that I would probably like, that I could probably just, catch up on later, So it's...
I mean, I guess it's Jujutsu Kaisen, the second season.
Yeah.
There was some 100 Bleach. Horima, I hear, is a big romantic comedy.
So Samu has entered the chat. The critique is real.
We are real.
Can we get much higher? So high. Yes,
The
the
thing
critique
is,
is
and
real.
there is the vending machine isekai, and there's the
Oh
second,
yeah, that came out. Yeah,
the second season of Hataraku Mao-sama. There were plenty of things to watch previous season.
Yeah, it's just I didn't watch any. But the thing is, it's because, like I said, I could just I'll just wait till I feel like watching them, and maybe that won't be for like maybe another couple of months, and then I'll be sitting in bed one night and I'll just be like, damn, I feel like watching the vending machine isekai. I want something in my,
but
I'll
to
be
repeat
like,
myself
damn.
a little bit, he's kind of doing the opposite complaint of the movies, where everything needs to be $1 billion CGI Marvel movie.
Yeah.
And there can only be 1 or 2 movies every month because of it, because it's all costs way too much.
And if that movie is absolute fucking dog shit, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah. Then the studio dies, and the shareholders are not happy, and then
hey, good day, Joe Yang. Yeah, vending machine isekai is sick as fuck. Yeah, I've heard, and like I said, like the fact that I didn't watch it seasonal doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just that I as I've been kind of getting into this video, I have a very different perspective and a very like I feel very differently about seasonal watching than a lot of people do. I'm like, it's why I've said a few times I don't relate to this guy's problem at all on a personal level, because I just don't watch anime the same way. I read interviews by the author to see if there's a metaphor for technology, and apparently he just really likes vending machines.
Whatever gets most views on Shousetsu.
Well, no, I mean, I find that interesting though, because I mean, vending machines are kind of cool. I do like vending machines too, so I could kind of understand. I've always kind of liked vending machines.
Well, the vending machine at my work has an empty spot before the thing I want to buy, so the entire thing just into the void. I'm not going to pay double for the one thing that I want.
That's great.
I hate vending machines. Now, to finish my point, finally, Marvel movies have a Marvel DC problem. One movie every month that costs $1 billion and nobody watches it. Anime, and people complain, oh, it's only superheroes, it's only these huge movies, and I don't care anymore about those huge movies. And then there's the seasonal anime, which has 20 shows every season. You only can watch 3 of them in your spare time. Oh, too bad.
Yeah.
The other 17 are to the waste, into the void.
Yeah.
So which way, Western man or Japanese man?
All right. Well, before we get back to the video, one last comment by our boy Joe Yang. I feel like this kind of seasonal critique is only relevant to people who are constantly online or only make constant content. I feel like regular viewers just watch what they want. Yeah, I agree, and that's kind of my point. Where I would class myself as one of those regular viewers, right? Where I'll look at the seasonal chart and I'll go, yeah, that looks good. I'll probably watch that. Oh, that's a season 2 of something that I've watched before that I liked. I'll watch that, or maybe I'll skip that season because I'm not feeling it this time around, or they just I just watch what I want, and maybe if I hear via that osmosis school of fish on the internets that this show is interesting, or it's doing something different, or it's quite, like Bochi was one of those where it was like, I wasn't interested in Bochi when it, before we found out it was Bochi, right? You know what I mean? I think that a lot of people are like that, and I think that there's these like 2 competing camps between people that are like hardcore. I want to watch almost every single anime a season, but I can't because there's too many, versus the people that are more casual and just kind of are like, yeah, I'm just gonna watch what I want. So anyway, let's continue.
I peaked at the next season, so 3 months from now, and there's already like 3 shows that I want to watch.
maybe we can talk about that in a minute, but because depends on how long it takes for us to get through this video, because we got a couple of things on the docket today that we might talk about. So let's keep going.
Anime from 2021 onwards to use as examples to highlight just how prevalent this is. Odd Taxi was a show that had people online practically pleading for others to see it, and even had a pre-order campaign for its Blu-ray box that reached over 6,000 buyers. But I'd be hard-pressed to find anyone who actually talks about Odd Taxi now. My dress-up darling made Kitagawa Marin the anime community's collective waifu for a hot minute, and then she kind of vanished from everywhere. Even with...
Not everywhere, buddy.
I want to read the manga.
I've heard the manga's really good. I hear there's some difference. I think because Joe did a video on it, didn't he?
Well, there's more future stuff.
Not Joe. Not Joe Yang. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about our Joe. Pause and select Joe.
Pause and select. Pause and select Joe. Smart man Joe.
Smart man. Very good videos. He makes good stuff. You should go watch his stuff. It's very good. As you know, it takes some fucking ages. It takes him like half a year to make a video, but it's always good videos.
He's working on a Persona 4 video. He said it was going.
He is, yeah. He's spending a lot of time on the Persona videos. So yeah, it's gonna be good. So, but anyway, getting back to it. Yeah, I mean, if this guy was in my circles, he'd know that Marin is still very popular. It's still very popular with the perverted persuasions.
Yeah, I mean, Marin is a good character, and yeah, one change that I know is that she doesn't have a tongue piercing, which I assume is just because it's annoying to animate every time.
It probably would be very annoying to animate. But you know, I think I can get his point though, right? I can get where he's coming from. He's saying yeah, like the Odd Taxi example I felt was a bit better, where it's like, yeah, because I remember people talking about that. I remember people talking about that when that came out, and then of course when, you know, once it's done and everyone moves on, like, again, I think the problem is you have to like buy into his premise that this is
a
like
problem
natural,
to begin with.
Yeah. Like this natural occurrence is a problem that has to be solved, right? That you have to buy into his premise, and I just don't buy into his premise. I don't see this as necessarily a problem, because it's not like Odd Taxi has disappeared. You can still watch Odd Taxi and talk about it. Like, I'm sure if you like go online, you'll find some people that will talk about Odd Taxi with you, or talk about Dress Up Darling with you, right? Like, it's yeah.
I mean, we can have talks about the performativity of all the characters and how they do and how they see themselves and how they want to portray themselves.
Yeah. We could steal Joe's points about
about
what was his video about? It was
performativity.
It was about performativity. Was yeah, that's why you bring it up. Yeah, because it was it was a while since I watched it. It was like Marin, and it was like the performativity of like otaku and like what it means.
Also, Gojo is wearing his working clothes outside of his workplace, so he kind of wants to be seen that a certain way he dresses. Also, not like the others. So he's attached to his personality or to his job.
Again, very, very interesting video. So having a look at the chat. Treating anime like that is the equivalent to playing a video game 24/7. MF, it's a show. Watch it when you want. Yeah, I agree. Man definitely does not hang out in the right circles. Next video is 2 hours. Yeah. Enough talk, grab me that Marin sauce. I don't have anything on hand right now, but maybe give me a minute. Sadly, there's this one guy I follow who does like these really good kokatsu animations, but the problem is they're all Intia.
Oh, damn.
So most people are probably going to be like, damn, it's NTR, bugger. But they're so good, though. The guy does, like, I don't know how the fuck, like, he manages to animate them so good within kokatsu. Because you know what kokatsu is,
yeah, it's
right?
kind of limited.
Party. It's, yeah, like, I don't know how the fuck that guy, I think it's like Yuki something. I'd have to go on my Twitter and find it. He's probably tweeted at some point. He has like a Neptunia avatar, I think. But man, those animations he does are fucking crazy. Like, I have no idea how he like turns Kokatsu into whatever the fuck he's doing. It's just a shame that it's all it's like you find like an amazing artist and the only thing they draw is like hardcore Goro or some shit. You know, like, damn. But I like this cute girl they drew, but I don't want to see her decapitated. you know what I mean? But no offense. No, I mean, I'm not a king shaver, so I'm not king shaving. And I follow the dude at the end of the day because I like his stuff. So it's good. Kokatsu animations can range from either insanely good or Gmod type stuff. Yeah. There's a big spectrum. But anyway, that's getting off topic from the video. So let's get back into it.
The news of a second season on the horizon, I found myself having to remind a not insubstantial number of people I know who watched the show and liked it that the second season is coming. She was effectively replaced by Shikimori from Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie.
Hey, my girl. But no, she wasn't replaced. She was not as popular as Marin.
No, she wasn't, and I can tell you that for a fact because there was way less stuff made. There was some. Don't get me wrong. There was some good works that came out of here, but wasn't effective. I wouldn't say that she reached the same level of popularity as Marin. So yeah, let's continue.
And she too has essentially been left out to dry as well, and the same fate has seemingly befallen Nazuna from Call of the Night. Sunny Boy was one of the most visually striking and thematically intriguing auteurist works that gave Natsume Shingo unshackled creative freedom, which is such a rarity in the current industry climate that its very existence is something of a miracle, even if I didn't happen to fully subscribe to all of its ideas. But it too has faded away. Summertime Render seemed to grip people with its mystery ambiance, yet I cannot even remember the last time I saw it pop up in any conversation, or Ya Boy Kong Ming and its off-kilter time displacement concept making use of comedic juxtaposition. It's a story that has played out numerous times, even if you deliberately limit your scope to the past couple of years, and it's going to happen again. It's not...
Yeah, I guess. What are you linking? Are you linking some lewds in the chat, Elias?
No, I wouldn't. Not on YouTube.
Not on YouTube. We would never do that. I would never. Yeah, Joe Yags is sounds like Helena, the Warhammer
an artist.
Well respected, yeah, in the community, but people keep complaining because they love drawing. The humongous bust, yeah. But anyway, back to the video. He's just kind of repeating the same point he's already made, really, isn't he?
Well, more examples isn't bad, though. I mean,
more examples isn't bad necessarily, but I
we
feel
pause
like
after two examples and then complain that's taking 2 hours to give more examples.
Yeah, exactly. But I just don't.
The problem is that we're not really buying the premise.
Yeah. I just don't see this as necessarily like a 100% negative problem. I just think it's a natural. It's not even like you can't even like spin this into like, I don't know, a capitalism bad or a capitalism good kind of thing or whatever. Like, you can't even like politicize this because it's literally just, this is the natural state of human attention spans at play, right? People watch Thing. They are content with Thing. They talk about Thing, and then they move on to next Thing. You know, it's the law of the world, I guess. And until he gives us okay, this is a problem. Why is it a problem? How do we fix it? That's what I'm waiting for here, and we're about halfway through the video, and we haven't really gotten that yet.
Yeah, so, I mean, you can place to do this with everything, even all the refugees over the Mediterranean, the Middellandse Zee. The Middellandse Zee. The refugees over the Middellandse Zee are still getting drowned by the day. But there's a war in Ukraine. Oh no, there's now a war in Israel. Oh no.
Yeah. oh no, there's the COVID 5.0 is happening. You know what I mean?
So,
Like, yeah.
so people's attention will shift no matter what, no matter the subject, no matter the
anime
severity.
during the as Joe Yang says, anime during the mid 2000s was the same. Yeah, same shit. I bet you could go back to the seasonal charts from like 2006, 2007, or whatever, and there'd be like 50 billion shows that no one fucking talks about.
I remember Kakashi. You can never take that away from me.
Yeah. Does he want seasonals to have the staying power of Dragon Ball or Naruto? That honestly kind of sounds like what he wants.
That's what like I said, that he wants a Marvel instead of the thousand small shows.
But anyway, let's see what he has to say.
It's not even unique to things that were liked at the time. Nobody seems to want to discuss Wonder Egg Priority, not unless they're calling attention to the ending and the special, or vaguely talking about its production woes without going into more specifics. This highlights another problem altogether. If a show does happen to remain in the conversation, discussion about it risks regressing to whatever is the most convenient soundbite associated with it. There's only so much mental bandwidth we have as individuals that, to keep something alive on the internet, we sometimes have to rely on shorthand, memes, or hot points of discussion in order to have the older things we consume have some form of relevance. Now, I'm sure there's probably someone out there right now who is listening to this video and thinking to themselves, well, the reason why we don't talk about those shows anymore is obvious. I was right all along. Those shows were never good, and everyone's opinions simply caught up with mine.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Oh, I said that. That's what I said.
Everything I like is good. Everything you like is mid, Ellie. Mid. All of the animes are mid.
This was your point all along. He read your minds, Naretsu.
Yeah, it's great. It's fucking great. Like, holy shit. Oh, man.
Is he responding to Snop? If there's a video of that, we'll maybe cover that as well, but nah, he's I don't know what he's thinking.
Everything you like is mid, yeah. It's but God. God. Yeah, it's such a I was kind of like excited there for a minute because I thought he was like actually going to cover something we'd actually talked about, but no, he's just like, yeah, there's going to be people like, yeah, no one talks about these shows because they were mid or whatever, and I'm like, all right. Oh God.
To which I say, congratulations. That's not the point of what I'm saying. I obviously have no control over whether you do or do not like something, nor would I presume that I would have any power over something like that. If I did, that'd frankly be disturbing. What I am getting at is that within the interplay of consumer and media, our initial enthusiasm for the material we watch seems to be reduced in the end to little more than a time capsule, a product purely of its context of watching at the time rather than having an enduring spirit. TV shows, books, movies, video games, musical pieces, and the like, all of those have endings, but the story of the actual art object itself has an afterlife that has the potential to thrive as long as people keep talking about it. But all too often, that just doesn't happen. As a result, things that actually have the potential to be regarded as classics years from now never stay within the realm of conversation long enough to become widely regarded as such. And
who decides when something is a classic, and who decides what has potential or not?
Yeah. Again, he's appealing again to this nebulous, the council of otaku or whatever, like the nebulous anime community that does exist, but it's so nebulous that you can't really define it.
I mean, all sport fans must agree on which soccer game is the best.
Yeah.
All sports.
Yeah.
Every sport.
Yeah, Mal decides. Oh God. Yeah, it's weird because I bet most people don't remember the shows that come out in the same choir as shows like Code Geass, Chaos. Yeah, exact. Yeah. You're not wrong. Like I don't Oh my God.
People remember the show just that I'm like, but I'm really I'm stumbling over this thing about this sense that he thinks some shows have more value which needs to be discussed. And
yeah, and I want to know what shows he thinks have this value.
But then he wants to be he doesn't want to be an arbiter, but he kind of wishes there was an arbiter
here's the thing.
that would say it's been talked enough.
Here's the thing. He is Xenote Taku Analysis, right? He is the YouTuber. He's making the YouTubers. One, he is the arbiter of his own fucking channel, right? If he wanted to talk about this show, right? And like you brought up, like your idea for the video about like the gender conformity and the role, gender roles and stuff, right? If he wanted to make the video about that or about the show in general, analyzing the show, I don't know if he has or not, because this is my first time interacting with his channel, right? So maybe he has, right? I don't know, but he has the ability as the arbiter of his own channel to go, hey, this show, even though it came out like fucking 2 years ago or whatever, I can make a video about it and put it out, and then people could talk about it again, you know? He has the power to do that. He literally has the power to do what he wants. You know, like the thing that he wants people to have happen. Because, Ali, how many times has a video about an older anime or something come out? Maybe not necessarily that we've covered, but let's just say like for, oh god, Dragon Maid. Yeah. Remember the Normalities saga? Yeah. Normalities put out. I mean, obviously this was around about the time when this new season of Dragon Maid was coming out, so I guess it might not count. But I feel like that video predated the season actually coming out. I think it might have. But that video came out, and all of a sudden, everyone's fucking talking about Dragon Maid. Maybe not necessarily for the right reasons, right? But everyone was talking about Dragon Maid because that one Tumblrite put out a batshit insane video, right? Talking about how it's, pedophilia or whatever, right? Like, all it took was this one relatively unknown YouTuber to pump out a controversial video that got everyone talking about Dragon Maid for weeks. The entirety, so what I'm saying is, even though, you could argue, okay, this guy, I don't know how many subs this guy's got or how big his channel is, right? But you could argue, if this guy wanted to start a discussion about whatever show, like he mentioned that taxi show, Odd Taxi, if he wanted to start a discussion, however small that discussion will be, he has the power to do that. He could just do that. He could, that is one of the abilities that people like us, I guess, as content creators, although I don't know if we could call ourselves content creators, but
well, we
you
are,
get what
but
I mean, right?
Very minor league.
Yeah, this is what I mean, right? Like, we have the power to generate discussions. However, like, we're having discussions right now. We're talking with the two people we've got in the chat right now about this very topic. We have generated a discussion, right? So I think that this guy needs, rather than making this 14-minute video complaining, he could have made a 14-minute video about some obscure show that he likes and presented that to his audience and be like, hey, there's something interesting about this obscure show that I like. I'm gonna talk about it.
So
I want to start a discussion.
For funsies, I was looking through my channel, and I'm click here. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, extra point, exclamation point. We covered a video of his.
Oh yeah, we did. Back. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah.
2 weeks ago, Anime Club, Odd Taxi. So it's getting it's getting traction. I mean, it has only 1.9k views.
Only 1.9k views.
It's a content creator that talks about the show in a club with other people. I see here at least two others. So yeah, it's getting talked about. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So yeah, let's have a look at the chat before we continue. So we've got yeah, it's starting to feel a bit like, why aren't people talking about the shows I care about? Yeah, I agree. But again, it goes back to my point that if he wants people to care about the things that he cares about, he has to like actually generate that discussion. Depending on how much attention he wants his shows to get, he can either A, look for it, or B, make it himself. Yep. I hear barely anything from yeah, exactly. Normalities revived, Dragon Maid confirmed. Normalities does it again, yeah. Normalities is kind of like dropped off the face of the earth after that. I think she put out a video on Sailor Moon and Card Captors, I think, and then kind of vanished after that, which is probably for the best. I don't want to be too mean, but yeah. Wait, so if I want to revive my favorite show, I just have to shit on it? Yeah. Yeah. Odd Taxi is pedophilia. Here's why. 7 million views.
Yeah, just one other one.
That is literally Twitter. Like, unironically, that is like I get. I mean, we're gonna talk about mild Twitter drama later, maybe.
Well, yeah.
Like,
I switched the screener at so just to show that.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it. Don't
a
you
replay
worry,
value 2 months ago has a video on the first episode of Yoka. Yoka came out almost 5 years ago, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
People talk about old show, and when they want to talk about old show, they make stuff about old show. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. But yeah, no. What Joe Yang is describing there, that is literally Twitter. It is literally just controversial statement. 20 gazillion view. There was one that I was gonna, because you mentioned the gender nonconformity stuff. I was gonna bring up, like, there was Tactifield. He's not called that anymore because he had to make a new account, but Tact had a thread going on about how there is this weird thing going on about people saying that Yuri is male gaze shit, and that no woman could ever find Yuri attractive because it's all it's made for males.
Oh, I mean, the first one I can agree with, or could agree with, but the second one...
We could have a debate about that, maybe. But the problem is he posts like literal fucking like Yuri sex in the thread, so YouTube probably wouldn't like that.
No, but some Yuri is for, oh, look, two girls having sex. Implies two things you want to look at.
The problem is and this is why I think the male gaze theory is complete fucking bullshit. Is like, there's nothing like, lesbians have male gaze. Okay, like, you can argue that, oh, maybe lesbians have like a different, like, because I mean, women in general have a different preference in terms of erotic content, but women like big boobs too. Okay, I'm sorry, like, it doesn't. The idea that, oh, the lesbians are pure and they don't like the dirty two girls in bed, being tee-hee together with their big boobs and it's nonsense. It's absolutely fucking nonsense. And that's why I think that the
male gaze is really just it's more theoretical than just
thing men like bad. That's all it is.
It's more theoretical than it is. But anyway.
Maybe we can talk about it later. You'd have to do some censorship to get the thread up on screen, because he's posting some hardcore shit.
I'll bring the theory up. A bunch of text on screen.
Oh god. All right. Anyway, one comment before we move on. Male gaze made a lot of sense during the era of Renaissance paintings, when paintings were literally made for male patrons. I think most people using Bailey haven't read her. She's a bit more nuanced. Yeah, fair enough. I should contextualize by saying, when I'm talking about like male gaze, I'm talking about modern male gaze, like the way that it's used now.
You mean the pop version?
Yeah. I'm not talking about the academic, because at the end, because honestly, that the academic version doesn't matter now, because what matters now is how are people actually using it.
Well,
And what people are actually
fight
using.
for definitions in the academic versions.
You can do that all you want, but it doesn't change the fact that the people on Twitter that are using male gaze theory are literally
wrong.
just saying they're wrong, and they're saying thing man like bad, right? Anything men could possibly like bad, yeah. Regular Tumblr male gaze is reduced down to man bad. Yeah, that's my point, Joe. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's honestly annoying. It's very annoying. But anyway, back to there. Oh, sorry.
And even if they are not regarded as classics, shows that fail or shows that don't quite hit the mark but are still okay in some respect don't get focused on to try and isolate why they didn't pan out successfully. In an industry that is constantly trying to push itself forward and a viewer base that seems to be more concerned
there are always videos about why this didn't work, where show X failed.
Yeah, like 19, like we are in the analysis era of anime YouTube content. Well, we're still in the analysis era. The guy's channel is literally called Z Note Taku Analysis. Like, what are you talking about?
I mean, do I have somebody on hand? No, not on hand. But there are things about, oh, this is done right. Oh, I was wrong about this thing.
I literally talked about how I thought Chainsaw Man was mid, or at least the anime was mid, like an hour ago. So it's like, I don't know what he's on about. But anyway,
on to the next.
To finish my point, there are discussions of where did Darling in the Franxx went wrong. Where did it go wrong? It was so strong in the first episode. So strong in the first episodes.
What happened? What happened?
There is always room for the what happened analysis.
All right, let's continue.
Thing. So much anime, if not all of it, becomes little more than a passing fad, a thing that happened and never really talked about again. It is purely a thing that took place in a cultural zeitgeist, losing its relevance as quickly as it gained it. If a show that eventually faded away is to be mentioned at any point after its initial airing beyond a soundbite, it's most often in the context of going through a best or worst of the year list and then immediately moving on to whatever the winter season has in store. It's the rough equivalent of a show being given one last hurrah and then getting shoved to the side. Shows like Mushoku Tensei or Spy Family tend to be framed as the exceptions to the rule, but it's arguable if the reason why it's not necessarily because of the supposed strengths of the storytelling. Instead, one could say that it's because it has sequel seasons or cours to bolster its relevance. The same principle could be...
I mean, those are not arguments at all. If it has a second season, it's in the it's in the consciousness again.
Well, no. My problem with what he said was the idea that these shows didn't have relevance because Spy X Family was one of the biggest manga. Like, it was insanely popular. It was so fucking popular. I believe, along with Chainsaw Man, it was one of, I think, a few of the manga that Shonen Jump split off the main category of Shonen Jump and put into the new online thing, because they made that new online thing.
Yeah, I completely
like they took it off the weekly serialization and put it on the online thing, which I don't remember. I think it's called like Jump Plus or whatever. But like it was so popular, they used it as a way to advertise the new method of manga delivery, the online one, right? Spy X Family was one of, if not the, like, it was on track to, before it got taken off the main serialization, it was on track to compete with the big hitters in the Shonen Jump magazine. It was getting insanely popular. It was massive in Shonen Jump. So to argue that Spy X Family or Spy Family, or however the fuck you say it. I don't know if the X is silent or not. I think it is, but like Spy Family, right? To argue that Spy Family was not relevant before the anime came out, and then only keeps being relevant because it gets successive seasons, is ludicrous to me.
This video suffers from an anime only problem.
Anime only tunnel vision strikes again. Anime only tunnel. The Mushoku Tensei is also another example. Mushoku Tensei is considered the grandfather of the isekai genre.
Like, it's only correct in certain contexts.
Only correct, yeah, I know, yeah. You can bring up your timeline again, but
I will. Don't threaten me.
Yeah. Don't threaten me with a good time. We'll talk about the timeline for an hour, but like, I'm talking about like in general, like it is considered like one of the defining works of the genre when it came out. Right, it was considered like a massive deal.
Yeah.
And it might not have been relevant to the Western side of the fandom, right? Yeah. As Joe Yang says, it is the third largest entry on Sosetsu, right? It is fucking enormous, right? So to argue that again, Mushoku Tensei was not relevant that's insane. That is insane. And I think that, again, anime tunnel vision strikes again. People need to stop viewing this media as, oh, it's just the anime. Because there are factors outside of just the anime that contribute to this stuff, right? That determine whether or not something is going to be relevant, like Mushoku Tensei.
Yeah, but I don't buy that Mushoku Tensei's that Mushoku Tensei and Spy Family are exceptions because they're still popular after the animes.
They're not exceptions.
But also, even if we're going back into the anime tunnel vision, to say that second seasons don't count towards being in the public consciousness again, why not? Why would that not count? If a second season is out, people talk about the second season. Oh, that doesn't count because the first season aired a half year ago.
Yeah. It's oh god. Have you seen the YouTube show something Murder Drones? No, I don't believe I have. Joshua Taylor has joined the chat.
I never watched a single YouTube show.
Wasn't that something that I think Jerry Freeman, I believe the savior of Western values, was shilling one time? I can't remember.
No idea.
He made a video about that. I think he made a video about that. I can't remember. But anyway, this is a crazy point. Samu chimes in before we continue. It's because people looking at anime like a cartoon, like for Western example, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, aren't doing that hot. But the rolling comic is, it's the anime tunnel vision problem is a really, really big problem when it comes to anime YouTube. It's one of the things we have discussed a lot on the show, especially back when we were doing the video format, when we were covering people's videos in the video format. We have discussed at length that is, like, I would honestly say that is the biggest problem with anime YouTube in general, is the lack of people recognizing how the sausage is made, where the animes are coming from, and actually looking at things as a complete picture instead of being like, man, Mushoku Tensei just kind of popped out of thin air and became the biggest isekai anime ever made. You know what I mean? Like,
if you're going to the real problem with AnyTube, then my stance or view on that is that the problem of AnyTube is that there's no knowledge retention, no lessons learned, no knowledge passed on, because it really can't. It's all channels are small islands drifting in the sea, and small flotillas gather at points and then break apart, but there's no generational knowledge being passed on.
Yeah. All right. Joe Yang makes the point of I think it depends on the show. Some shows have hugely loyal communities. Most regular anime people didn't talk about the later Overlord seasons, but the Overlord fans love it. That's a good point. I think that's a good point. I mean, I am one of those Overlord fans. I absolutely loved the last season that came out. I thought it was really good. So yeah, I agree. I agree with you that it does depend on the show and the franchise. Yeah. So anyhow, let's continue.
Yeah,
Said to apply to something like
Ano hates
86
anime.
or even the most recently finished.
Fuck! Don't fucking don't fucking tempt me with a good rant, because I will make this a 20-hour stream if you do that. But anyway, let's keep going.
Darling child of the community, Oshinoko. It's worth asking, I think, a certain hypothetical question. If, for instance, none of these shows got any seasons beyond their first, what is the extent to which they would be held up as objects of discussion? I don't mean in regards to the individual, everyone has their own ideas for which shows especially should be trumpeted, but rather as a collective community that cares about this medium so much. This, of course, leads into the ever-thorny topic of how does something actually come to be regarded as a classic, or how many...
So he's doing that thing again. It's like that nebulous community. What the fuck? What, you know? I didn't sign up to be in the cult, Ellie. I didn't sign up for this.
I can think
I'm not part of this nebulous community he's talking about. I never signed up for this.
I had the drive to make a video of any kind, I would say I would make a video about how Oceans Go, 90 minutes first episode, and now Freeren's 4 episodes batch, maybe heralding a new age in anime where stories can have a very strong start, no matter, and the show creators can decide the length of that for themselves instead of being bound and constricted by 23 minutes of show of airtime.
Yeah.
That's the legacy that I would give Oshinoko. Or even maybe ReZero, but ReZero was, a few years ago, and Oshinoko really said, no, this is going to be done, and now we have Freeren that does kind of the same, so, we have 3 shows, we can make a video about it, saying this is the future.
Yeah. Pretty much. So yeah. Let's continue.
Many people need to talk about something before it becomes enduring, and the fact is that those don't have easy answers. Even the idea of something being a classic is frustratingly vague because things can be regarded as classics for different reasons, be it visually, acoustically, thematically, character-wise, story-wise, a combination of all of those things, or maybe another reason altogether. Maybe that's a discussion for another time. I suppose this is the point of the video where I come up with some kind of magical solution that will be able to rectify everything that I've talked about.
But I don't.
But the truth is, I just can't really do that.
Yeah, I knew it was coming. I knew he was gonna fucking cop out. I knew it.
Really, his first question, he skipped over the question over what is a classic, but that's really the first. If you want if you want something to be talked on for years on end after the series has ended or the anime season has ended, then you first need to determine what is a classic, what is worth talking about to the people. But he skips over that very important questions and now says, "I don't know what to do now."
I don't know what to do, Ellie. What do we do? Like, I provided the solution like 10 minutes ago. Make fucking videos about the shit you want to talk about. There you go. That's your solution, my dude.
I had a video idea about Kaguya-sama and that show where all the girls are very concerned about sex when they're when in their adolescence.
Maidens
in their savage season.
Yeah.
I think those shows are both kind of interesting because they make a very concerted effort to have almost every kind of romance in the characters. Savage Season is very kind of explicit, where each character has a different romance of kind of more of a real childhood friend, awkward relationship. First seeing each other as the opposite sex, then you have a girl who doesn't believe in herself to be pretty, dates a boy, starts really dating and that stuff, and there's another one, and then another one, and then you have Kaguya, which has the pure love romance of Kaguya and Shirogane. Then you have the frustrating romance of Ishigami. You know, lots of different romances portrayed in the characters, and now you can see how are they similar and how are they different? What do they think about what romance is? Which stories had a happy ending? Which, in that case, which romances are preferred in these stories? Interesting things. I not made a video about it, but that's a topic.
But the point is like you could, right?
I could.
Like you and the yeah.
Oh, don't worry. I have seen that review.
Oh boy.
Did we cover it? Because I suggested it.
Did we cover it? I can't remember. Fake audiophile guy. I don't remember. Maybe we did. Because I think we covered identifying communism. That was the one that the Zarya video back in the day. That was
and banning all the technology.
Well, that was Manime Matt. And
yeah.
That was Dr. Stone. Kaguya-sama. Yeah, maybe. The guy who said the perfect way to watch Kaguya. Yeah, see, that's literally like all audiophiles, though. Like, audiophiles are some of the snobbiest motherfuckers I've ever fucking... Like, there's only one good audiophile, and that's Z Reviews. I think it's Z Reviews. That guy's legit. You know he's legit because he has waifus in every video. That's how you know he's that's how you know he's legit. Because you can't... Yeah. A lot of audiophiles are like very snooty. But anyway, let's continue.
With the industry always poised to look ahead to chase the next big thing and pour their resources into that, and an anime community that is always trying to jump onto the newest hot cultural buzz at the expense of leaving what they just witnessed out to pasture, I honestly do not foresee any breaking in this cycle, nor any solution to make that feasible. Perhaps on the individual level this can be fixed, but as far as the overall, all-encompassing anime community, I just don't see it happening both in theory and in practice.
But there is no all-encompassing anime community.
Yeah, again, it's just the nebulous idea of an anime community. I don't want to repeat myself too much, but he keeps repeating it. You know, like it's what the fuck is this nebulous monolith that is the anime community?
That I'm trying to actively dissuade you from watching seasonals? Good heavens, no. Seeing what comes out now does have its uses. It keeps you more attuned to the current state of the industry, both as a business for capital and for trying to understand why fans would gravitate towards certain things and not others. It's a way of keeping the finger on the pulse of the way things...
Because you don't need to watch things right now to understand. Historical context, watching through... There's no real... I don't see a big value if you want to have a big, what does capital do? Oh, what was the mindset of the people at the time? You don't watch the previous season to understand what the mindset of the people was. Take a look of the previous 3 years, and you can ignore the season right now.
It's this weird, and I, as Joe points out in the chat, the anime community, quote unquote, is huge, and people that comment on Crunchyroll videos are not the same as people on Nah, that are not the same as people on AniTwitter, that are not the same as people on A, that are not the same as, and it's like what I said, it's more like the anthills, and the tribes, You know, there's no one community, right? It's not a monolith. It is like a semi-connected series of micro communities that all have their own cultures, you know, and people like this don't factor that into their analysis. They don't factor in the like someone that likes JoJo and is a massive shonen guy who only watches shonen like JoJo and whatever, right, is not the same as someone who's watching something called Maidens and Their Savage Season, right? It's not necessary. Like, maybe there's overlap, right? Obviously, because people are individuals. But if we're talking about,
I
like,
hear that Baldur's Gate, for an example, Baldur's Gate, women like that massively.
Yeah.
You know why?
Yeah. Because they like the beer sex.
They like because half of Baldur's Gate is a dating sim.
Yes, that's true.
And I play it for equal parts dating sim and D&D, but these women play the dating sim and learn the entire combat of D&D to get it to that.
Yeah.
Imagine that,
surveying the landscape is not something big anti-tubers have developed the system to do individually or collectively. Yeah, it's a big problem. Yeah. It's one of those. It's like the anime tunnel vision problem. There's like these fundamental problems that we have that we're gonna call out because we're two idiots sitting at home watching shitty videos on a live stream. But it's so annoying because things could be so much better. It could be so
really,
much. They could be so. They could be so much better for so little effort, though. It's like,
yeah, but you know that's
all this guy had to do was like stop and think for a moment, you know. Like,
yeah, but then you would kind of mandate that people read the Moe Manifesto and the Anime Machine, and
I haven't fucking read the man. You don't need to do that. You just need to like intuitively be like, huh, what do I mean by anime community?
Yeah,
wait a minute.
Naratsu,
wait a minute. There's like 50 billion anime communities. What am I talking about? Like
I mean more in the sense of the generational knowledge that has been gained over the years.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess. I'm not saying like it's. Yeah, I think I'm in deja vu. I think I've said this before, but it's like it's not like we're mandating you read like fucking academic papers and shit, getting like really into the weeds on all of that shit. Like you can obviously, and it would be better if you did. But like all I'm saying is we need to have like a cultural shift to recognize, oh, maybe we're fucking up here. Maybe we need to do the whole NPC brain BIOS update. You know, recognize anime is not just anime. You know, there are factors involved that go beyond show get made, right? Maybe we can do that. You know, like that's what I'm talking about. Like we need to have like just a BIOS update, a fucking culture wide BIOS update.
Yeah, at least people don't say that Mushoku Tensei is the first isekai anymore.
Yeah.
That's it. That's been an update.
They say Isao's.
I hate it. If anything, Zero no Tsukaima is the first modern isekai.
Yeah. All right, that's good.
Things are in the here and now, and it's important to have an eye and an ear in the present. I don't think anyone would want to presume that ignoring the present is the wisest decision. What I suppose I am saying at the end of this whole matter is that if you do come across a seasonal that you do think sincerely is worth the time and the energy, don't just let that ember die out so quickly. And if you find that the ember is dying, ask yourself why. Perhaps your enthusiasm for it was indeed just for the time it came out, or something else about the material that you hadn't considered before you changed your thoughts about it later. To reiterate what I said before, stories never end. Anime, manga, movies, books, video games, music, they all have endings, but your own personal story with a piece of media never really ends. The more you see, the more you live, and the more you learn, it's impossible for your feelings on a thing to be crystallized forever. Perhaps a show you loved at one point did in fact bleed into the background of your mind with the innumerable others. Or maybe even 2 years later, you still find yourself wanting to blow the trumpets. But the only way to know is to dig up the old fossils and see for yourself. Part of the reason why I felt compelled to make this video a little bit quicker was because an online friend of mine just finished watching the Aquatope on White Sand, an Iyashikei that aired a couple of years ago, and I have another online friend who's starting to watch it now, in part because of this discussion. I reviewed it back on this channel in an old format and rhetorical style that I don't like using anymore, not to mention with a crappy headset microphone, so I guess you could check it out if you wanted to. But being able to talk about the show's animation, themes, perceived shortcomings, and plunge back into the waters was honestly a blast. Even though my own feelings on the show have been relatively unchanged in the time since I finished watching it, there was such a cozy sense of familiarity that I never would have felt if my friends hadn't let their curiosity get the better of them. The Aquatope on White Sand is no classic, to me anyway, but I'll happily greet the new life it's been given in my mind. I suppose a takeaway is, even if the old things themselves are only a year removed, your story with older media is never over. So go write your next chapter. The industry will always try to push you ahead with its promises of the future or throw things in your face in the present. But don't forget even the recent past, even if the industry supposedly did. Thank you for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe.
Okay.
So he already has the solution.
Yeah. Just fucking talk about the shit that you like. It's so, man. Who would have guessed it was so easy? You know, just Ellie, just talk about the shit that you like. You know, there you go.
You want more Maidens in their seventh season?
Talk about it. You talked about it. Yeah, you talked about it on the show, so there you go.
Yeah. Nerds, did you watched a little bit of it, or just me talk about it?
I think it was one of the ones I put on the back burner, so it's on my list of.
You should watch it,
It's still
Nerds.
on my. Yeah, I know, because based on everything you've said, I probably love it. So yeah.
Hey,
right.
There, another one converted.
Another video,
another years
so
old anime.
So my final thoughts on the video is. Yeah, he has invented a problem that he is the solution to, right? The problem being, no one talks about the shit that I like, or no one talks about things past their use-by date, I guess. You know, whatever can we do, Ellie? Oh, I know. Make some YouTube videos about it. Talk about it.
Talk about it.
Keep, and I guess the problem that I think the natural counter argument that you'll get from people like him would be, oh, but if I do that, then my algorithm's gonna destroy my analytics or whatever. It's like, just stop giving a shit. Do you think we give a shit about fucking YouTube analytics? Because
no.
We spent like half a year on like hiatus because of varying factors, and we're like, nah, fuck that. We're like, fuck your analytics. We're not good.
I will take strikes because I want to fight a big company on YouTube.
Yeah. We'll take it. We'll get a copyright strike because Ellie's a dumbass. Watch Murder Drones. We might like. Yeah, maybe we will. Time to talk about random ass show. No one gives a shit about because I like the main girl in it. Yeah. Unironically, Samu. Unironically is what should happen. Is just more people should just do that. You know, I feel like we'd be in a much better position if people were just like, man, that girl's really hot. I'm going to talk about this show for like half an hour. But anyway,
that's working, right? Working that show. That's the ancient show. Best girl wins.
Yeah. So I'm gonna grab a glass of water so my throat doesn't fucking destroy itself, and then we can talk about, I guess, Twitter drama.
I'll have the tweet up for 1 second for the smallest drama in the world.
In the world, all right. I'll be back in like 1 moment.
So I can massage the message to the people. Like, have you chat people? Joshua, Samu, have you seen this tweet?
Slap that over there.
Naretsu in the background.
So yeah, we're going to be talking about some drama, hot off the press. It's time for the drama segment of the show. I guess.
Twitter drama.
We're gonna have segments now. Apparently, we're gonna have the Twitter drama.
Well, we can have chapters in the video, so why not?
Yeah. We set that up on the last stream, so that's so people can jump around.
Oh, don't worry, Samu. This is drama. Is absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it's a nothing drama, but we had a discussion about it in our text chat, and we figured we might
super private secret chat.
See secret channels and backdoors. It is another sub debacle.
Except
so
it isn't.
I'm gonna. Well, it kind of is, kind of isn't. We'll get into it. So basically, Anime Outsiders, Cody, probably Cody. Someone that I have talked to, maybe not in person, but I have interacted with the Anime Outsiders. Not so much these days, but I mean, I don't particularly think that they're bad people. Sometimes I disagree, sometimes I don't. Put out a tweet, which basically was, I want to go back to all those abridged series makers who kept saying, please support the official release, and kick them in the shins like a bratty child. And he shows an image of 3 different subtitles on 3 different services. So you have Crunchyroll, Netflix, and Amazon, and they're all from Spy Family. And so we have, they all lay out the key thing. If you bring, there you go. Now the image is nice and big for the chat. I'm not going to read all of the subtitles. You can read them yourself, because the key point that I want to make is this is an interesting sub debacle, because it's not like your typical sub debacles, right? Because the typical sub debacles are usually, I believe the meme that I posted in the chat is something along the lines of, every single translation discourse on Twitter is people going, Japanese is subtle and context changes this noun to something that has 3 different translations based on the phase of the moon. But what people are complaining about is a character saying swag, dub, Gundam style PogChamp. So it's not exactly that, but it is in the same vein as that, right? Because you have the same literal meaning, right? And I'll use one side of the translation to illustrate this, right? Because they're starting to become a distraction. They're so obtuse. They're an eyesore for real, right? You have these 3 different translations of the same text, right? And you could argue that all of them have the same literal meaning, right? They are conveying the same literal meaning. However, the argument then becomes the tone is different. Saying that they're starting to become a distraction versus they're an eyesore for real, right? I believe that those 2 are wildly different in the tone and the characterization being portrayed of the character. So then it becomes a matter of, hey, what was the tone in Japanese? Because if you know anything about Japanese is a very tonal language. They have lots of different words for like formal, informal, casual, sarcastic, different styles of speech, right? Different words can convey different tones, similar to English, I guess, in that respect, right? So Ali is our resident translator man, who knows,
master of Japanese.
Master of Japanese, knows a thing about Japanese, and so what is your take? What is your take? Because my take is same literal meaning, different tone. What's your feel?
My feel is to go to what Lloyd Voyager says. Ikagen Mezawari Dana Aitsu. Kind of,
which I think I can put in the chat as well.
Oh, I can. I have.
You posted it in our chat, so I'm gonna just copy paste the.
I'm gonna do it first. Aha.
Okay.
So this is the literal Japanese line that you can post in Google Translate if you want to.
Use DeepL, it's better.
One or the
Use
other.
deep L.
Doesn't matter because I'm not going to use either.
Yeah.
Eek again is a more of a stop with this right now kind of word, kind of phrase. And you something you would kind of say to a child or to a from how long are you going to continue this foolishness, idiocy?
How long are you going to keep acting like this type thing?
Yeah. Mesawari is translated an eyesore, something that's quite literally an eyesore you don't want to see. Quite serious.
Yeah.
Then this sentence ends with dana. Also, that's kind of a almost a questioning, right? In a sense, right? Do you agree, right? But Lloyd says this to himself in his thoughts. And
so he's not posing the question to someone else. He's posing it to himself, basically.
Yeah, more of a conclusionary statement than a question in that sense. And then the sentence ends. The line ends with aitsu, which is them, they, those guys.
Those guys. So yeah. So I believe when you talked in the chat, you said that your I have to go find it. What did you say that your first draft of a very literal translation would have been something along the lines of how much of an eyesore are these guys going to be? ?
Yeah.
Was your take. And I believe when I pumped it into Deep L, I got he's getting on my nerves was what I got from Deep L, which was quite funny. So keeping that in mind, right? You can kind of see elements from all from your interpretation in all three of these, right? In a sense, you can kind of like, because obviously eyesore is in the Amazon one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously they're taking that, but then the Netflix and the Crunchyroll ones are a little bit more localized, I guess, where it's more like, oh, they're starting to become a distraction. That they're so they're so obtuse, right? So I think it's very interesting. So it is definitely very interesting.
Jake asked the question, who is this, is the subject addressed? No. Lloyd says this to himself.
Yeah, as we said, he's saying this to himself. It's like his internal monologue. He's having an internal monologue about these people are being
they've been following me all this time already, and I wish they would just go away.
Yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting debate. I think that you could argue that not necessarily all three of them are wrong in a sense, but I think what did you say in the chat? You said that the Crunchyroll and Netflix were probably better than Amazon.
I mean, of course, in localizing, it takes a little bit of bravery of changing what actually being said to match the tone. And in my first draft translation, I wasn't brave enough to, of course,
you weren't brave enough to try and
cut half the sentence away to get to the core of things.
Which feels like what they're kind of doing with the Crunchyroll and the Netflix one, because they're kind of saying, well, essentially what Lloyd is saying is he's basically saying these people following me are a distraction, right? Essentially.
Yes.
Like, because they're hiding in a bush. The context is like they seem to be hiding in a bush and they're following him around.
But they are not being stealthy at all. Around. People could hear them.
Yeah, and he's he's saying that they're being a distraction. Would literal translation work better? I don't know. I think that it'll just, because to me, I'm always as we know, I hate the localizers. The localizers are the devil, right? They're evil. I feel like as long as the original meaning and tone is conveyed, I don't have a problem with them somewhat fudging the exact words, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what should matter. What should matter is this is what the creator intended. This is the tone that the creator was going for. This is what was the intended way that this was supposed to be perceived. As long as that is maintained, I wouldn't mind a little bit of fudging, right? Because a little bit of fudging does have to happen, right? Because literal doesn't always necessarily work, right?
Yeah.
Because if you wanted to get like super literal, it would be like, because Japanese typically has like reverse sentence structure to English.
Yeah,
right?
reverse word order.
Yeah, they address like the thing at the end rather than the beginning, right? So there's and you'll see that when you do machine translations a lot, right? You can see like how the machine translation gets messed up because it doesn't swap the things around, right? So I think that when it comes to this specific example, I would agree with you that I think that the Crunchyroll and the Netflix example are probably better. Because Lloyd because when I take into context, right? Because I haven't watched Spy X Family, but I do know that like Lloyd as a character, he's a somewhat serious kind of guy.
Yeah, he's on a mission most of the time.
Yeah, he's a spy. He's a bit calm, cool, collected. I don't see him as the kind of guy that would say for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He doesn't strike me as the kind of guy like me. Like that's something I would say, like as a casual, right? Casual type language. He sounds like the kind of guy who would say something like they're starting to become a distraction or they're being so obtuse.
Well, the thing is before I answer Jake, the reason why I still also think for real is kind of okay in the Amazon sub is because Lloyd is being a little bit more casual when he's talking to himself right now, because he's using Dana instead of des.
Right.
So and also Lloyd is a professional and he's watching amateurs. Lloyd isn't threatened.
Yes.
Lloyd isn't threatened. He's not worried. He's annoyed.
See, because I'm running off limited context, right? Because I haven't watched the show. I don't watch Spy X Family, so I don't have the full contextual analysis, I guess, if that makes sense. So yeah. But yeah, so that's the twatter drama, right? That is
well, the reason why I kind of want to pick this out is Japanese translations. I like Japanese translations from time to time.
Yeah, well, we talk about the localizers being the devil a lot, so.
But this is a case where Anime Outsiders is just kind of fear-mongering, I guess, over nothing.
Kind of you would argue, perhaps he's making a bit of a molehill out of nothing.
Yeah, I mean, that's more correct what you said, yeah.
I think that it's definitely not an egregious example. I find it more interesting the fact that there is the three different interpretations. That's what I find more interesting. Like how you can have this situation where you have three different translators talking about the same, translating the same work and coming to three separate conclusions almost.
Yeah,
I find like separating it from the context, like the overall discussion, to be more interesting than the actual comparison, if that makes any sense.
I know for a historical fact is that when they first what do you call the script of the Mesopotamians? Sanskrit?
Yeah,
no, right?
I think it's transcript, manuscript, transcript,
Sanskrit,
like
Sanskrit, maybe. I don't know.
Sanskrit, yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, that's because I what I would call it is nail script, but that's not the English term for that. Anyway, the Mesopotamian language, when it was first translated, cracked the language. It was discovered it was a kind of a passage which eventually would be the basis of Noah's Ark. So, the proto-Noah's Ark translation. Or the story. Sanskrit. Oh, it is Sanskrit. Alright, Sanskrit. So, Sanskrit. So, big excitement. Noah's Ark, way back when, proves that Noah's Ark was real. they said.
Big deal, yeah. Big deal.
So they commissioned a bunch of guys to do a translation, a bunch of translations, and the best one would get a prize from a newspaper. Thing is,
Right.
they all produce rather different translations. One, the language was brand new, discovered, cracked. Two, it was different people who translated it. So eventually, I believe I don't remember anymore, but I assume they just picked the one translation they liked the most at that point and proclaimed that the winner. But yeah, that's another story of how language can be translated in 3 different ways and end up very different.
All right. Well, so that's the minor toilet drama. I don't know if you want to talk about Yuri, because we could do that one. That was another toilet drama.
I don't know that Twitter drama.
So
well, you have to link the Twitter drama.
Okay. Well, you have to be careful because there might be lewds that will show up if you put it on stream. So
account. I can check this account if I can see lewd stuff on this account.
Yeah, have a look because some of the images might be of the lewd variety. I put it in the chat, not the YouTube chat in the thing. But so the basic gist of the Yuri drama was there was a post that I think is now deleted or the person went privated, which was basically along the lines of it was something about Yuri. It was like a picture of like it was like the 2 girls pressed together is like how you know the Yuri manga is going to be absolute shit or something like that, right? And it kind of went like
I can show the first few. There's a rather explicit one later.
Yeah. There's some non-explicit ones there, but the general gist was you had this post that went viral that was just a crudely drawn MS Paint image of like 2 girls pressed up with giant tits and ass, right? So what happened was our boy I call him Tack, but he's called Neo Geo Man now. He put out a thread about it, and his thread is not necessarily like relevant to the discussion. It's just that's how I encountered the drama, right? It's through his thread, right? And he makes some good points in the thread. His thread is probably worth the read because he's very into his Yuri, right? And he talks about kind of the same kind of points I'm probably going to talk about, right? Because this meme image kind of led to this whole, which is the thing that he's quoting in the initial tweet. I always love seeing Yuri fans realize the Yuri genre of anime and manga is primarily made by and for heterosexual men. And Neo Geo Man's general point talking about this is that no, women like this too. There's some schizophrenia going on where people are saying that, oh no, all of this Yuri is only made for men. Men are the only people that like this, and he uses like statistical data from actual like Yuri magazines and stuff to kind of make the point of no, actually they like the boobs and the ass too. So it was just kind of like a little mini drama that I wanted to talk about. I'm seeing a lot of lewds on screen right now. We're gonna get our ass back.
Well, if nobody reports it, I'm watching you. Samu, I provided lewds to you. Don't dare.
I mean, we're gonna be age restricted anyway. Probably.
Yeah.
This is probably so. Just be careful. I don't want to get like hard banned because we fucking. I mean, we could always edit the section out. I guess it could be like banned section of the thing. Yeah. There's nothing to it. I mean, there's one panel that's got direct nudity in it. Ellie's just playing. He's playing with the fire right now. He's playing with fire right now to get us banned. So yeah. Oh, look, that one was marked as not safe for work. There we go. So yeah, it was a bit of a micro drama that happened. And I kind of just wanted to, I don't know, talk about it, I guess, because I think the idea of the girl's love is only for the male gaze, heterosexual men, I think is fucking ridiculous, especially when you consider that the majority of the readership tends to be female.
Yeah, people misunderstand
mangas.
readerships all the time because most of the Naro or most of the Naro in general, the Shosetsuka, is read by bored salarymen on the train. The audience is adults.
Yeah.
Stuff like
what's
that.
What's your Twitter account? Well, my Twitter account's easy enough to find. You just look.
My Twitter account is right here in between frame.
Yeah. Well, it's Ellie's Twitter account that he only really owns so that he can interact with Twitter shit.
Well, I have other Twitter accounts, but one is for boring new stuff, and this is kind of the more public
you shit
PR.
Posted, yeah. And my Twitter is easy enough to find. You just look up Naretsu the Perv on Twitter. You'll find me pretty easy. I'm probably like search, suppress, banned, probably, but I'm not hard to find. You'll find me sometime. I'll be around. Yeah. So I'm seeing the Fujoshi getting. Yeah, I ain't seen the Fujoshi. Funnily enough, you mentioned that, but Fujoshi do get a lot of heat these days. At least on Twitter, because they're seen as evil. They're seen as evil, fetishizing the gay man. It's really weird. It's like, because you have like, Yuri is all for the disgusting evil cis males, right? But then you'll have all these, God, what is with all these Fujoshis sexualizing the gay men, Ellie? They're sexualizing the gay men. It's so bad because sexualization is apparently bad now, right? Wish I could DM for research texts because you left Twitter. So yeah, no, it was a good thread. I can copy the link probably and just link the thread in the chat for people that wanna. There you go. There's if you want to go look at the lewds yourself, there's the link to the thread. So other than that,
Naretsu, you promised your takes on Viren. Maybe if
I've only watched 2 episodes. I've been busy this week. I didn't manage to watch all of it. So my hot takes on the first 2 episodes is it's good. It's good. Viren is good. You can bring up your picture of your waifu now.
I brought up the picture of the waifu. Don't worry.
Of the waifu. Yeah. Make it nice and full screen so everyone can see her wonderful wonderfulness.
This one.
Yeah. Yeah, actual research. Yeah.
Can't you DMs on YouTube isn't a thing, right?
Probably not. I mean, if he wants to link stuff in the chat, I don't.
I mean, you can paste all your stuff in the comments, I think.
Yeah, you can put it in the comment. Yeah, if you put like a comment, we'll see it. So we can always do it that way. But anyway, So I watched the first 2 episodes. And they're really good. I think the show's going to be one of the bigger hits of the season. I think, specifically because it's very. It's like you mentioned in the last stream. It's very reflective, and very much about what do you want to do with life? How the meaning of life, and that kind of stuff. But it's also very chill, as well. The pacing is a lot slower. Ironically enough, which is weird because it is like in terms of the actual timeline because of how she ages, right? We're actually jumping like the pink-haired girl. I think she starts off being like age 9, and then by the end of episode 2, she's like age like 14, 13 or something.
I think she starts like at 6 or something.
Yeah, it's something like that, right? So you get like because it's weird, like the actual material pacing of the show, right? From a
time
composition perspective,
chronological.
from a composition perspective, like a storytelling perspective, it's slow. It's not like everything's happening like really, really fast, right? But in terms of the in-universe timeline, things are progressing fast, if that makes sense. It's actually very interesting.
Skips forward a bunch.
It skips forward a bunch, yeah. And I actually think that's fascinating. So I am very interested to see how that kind of progresses as the show goes forward. Because obviously new characters are going to be introduced. We're going to get, there's new things are going to happen during this like adventure after the adventure has ended, right? So yeah, I am very I'm definitely going to keep watching it. I think it's definitely going to be one of the must-watch recommendations for the season.
And you'll forget it right after it finishes, right?
And we'll forget it right after it's out. Yeah, right after it's finished. But no, I think it might have staying power. I feel, but I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be like, oh, it's Chainsaw Man, big talked about all the time. I think it's going to find its niche, and people that are into these more slow, kind of chill, relaxing, not too heavy shows are going to probably quite enjoy it. So yeah, that's my take on it so far. I will probably I don't know when we're going to do another stream. We never know when we're going. We're aiming for maybe once a week, but we just don't know when. Maybe, but next time we do a stream, I'll probably update on the Fenrin, my beloved. Fenrin. Oh yeah, my Kiwi shit's gonna.
Yeah, it's. I appreciate how every name and place is German.
Well, it is set in a fantasy.
Yeah, but
European.
Most of the time it's either English or Japanese still. But Frieren and Eisen and Heitar and Himmel. Himmel is German for heaven. Eisen is iron. Frieren, I believe the translation that I got was frozen. Frozen in time. Himmel, heaven, is gone to heaven. Eisen is a dwarf. Is iron. Fern is away. Then you got more other characters, but our next episodes they'll be at the Grosse Forest, which is just big forest. Gross is great, big in German. Proposer? Might be. I'm not German. I'm Dutch. So this.
Yeah. Interesting stuff though.
Norwegian.
So yeah. So other than your new waifu of the season.
Well, I'm joking. Frieren is not even my waifu. I just lie.
It's gonna be the you do realize that's gonna be the meme.
Oh, I mean, I type it because it's funny, but no, Frieren is just a fun character. I don't have a waifu this season, or actually previous season.
Well, other than that, I should also probably mark that I've watched that on my thing because I haven't done that yet. Because I'm just looking at my list of things. I did watch the first episode of Emerence in Shadow, and as I mentioned when it came up in the video, Kino is back on the menu. Kino is back, boys. It's so fucking good because it's so fun. I fucking love Emerence and Shadow so much. It's one of the best fucking shit because it takes itself seriously while being the goofiest shit you've ever watched in your life, and it does it in a way that's earnest and not ironic. It's so fucking great. So that's until I watch more and I can actually talk about what happens in it, because we're doing vampires this season, so that's gonna be good. And then I watched the first episode of Arknights, which was also really good. Depression and Bound for Arknight season, because it's going over Frost Nova's story, so that's going to be some depression shit.
I'm just Freeren. I have, of course, I forget other shows that I'm actually watching as always. Oh, any chart I have it open on another. The fall, the season. I'm skipping Spy Family because I haven't been watching this. I may be watching a few episodes of Doctor Stone because it has.
Yeah, I'll be picking up Stone at some point. I don't know if is that coming out. Yeah, I think it's coming out.
Kimi Zero.
Oh yeah.
Because it has a girl says, "Hey, wait, we're not going to have sex in the first episode."
Wait a minute.
No sex?
Wait. No sex? Question mark? What? What do you mean?
And
what do you mean?
That seems like a novel concept to watch a show where the girl asked, "Wait, we're not going to have sex?"
Yeah,
that's a fun start.
And I know Undead Unluck has been coming out. I haven't picked that up yet. I think Muscle's got a second season coming out. Which I haven't been watching that either. This season's looking a little bit more interesting, at least for me, compared to the last one. Fucking High Dive announced that they got Mato Seni No Slave, and they're calling it Changed Soldier. I'm just gonna say right now, if any of you fuckers call that Changed Soldier, you're getting banned from the group. You are going to get kicked. That Chinese meme of the panda is like, we will be checking your accounts. If you call that show Changed Soldier, you will be kicked from the group. That is the rule. You will be kicked. I don't use AnyChat anymore. I use LiveChat, so it's weird.
I mean, I never used anything
I
else.
like LiveChat more because LiveChat like shows like countdown timers and all kinds of other stuff.
That's kind of.
I like their filtering more too, because you can. I'll link you to LiveChat's one because I like the way it looks more. It looks a lot nicer. There you go. I put it in the chat there for you.
I'll just click on it.
I mentioned in the last bloody stream that I am pseudo excited for that, but I don't have my hopes high because I think it's gonna be I think it's going to be censored to shit, even though it's on High Dive. I think it's going to be both censored to shit, and it's also, the fact that they've localized it to Changed Soldier is not fucking filling me with confidence.
Well,
that it's going to be
I heard about CG monsters, and that was already
that's the other problem. Is like the trailers have shown that it's going to be CG monsters. Also, set it to dark theme. It looks a lot
preferences.
Nicer. Yeah, it's I have to remember where it is.
Here.
Set that to dark theme. Make it look nice, easier to read. Because who the fuck uses light theme?
I use it because
You're gonna blind yourself. You tab into the window at night on the laptop and just fucking.
The thing is, I watch stuff on a good lit in a good lit room.
Yeah.
I don't have that problem.
But anyhow, so yeah. Mato Seni No Slave is coming out. That'll be good if it's not censored, because it's probably good. I know Dungeon Mishi is that's coming out. I think that's in January though. That's
it's
not
next
coming till January.
Yeah, I mean, I read the manga a bunch. It's good. I like it.
Yeah, I've heard it's pretty decent. Yeah, there's a few. There's a few interesting things. There's some stuff to talk about when it starts to come out a bit more.
And Joshua, you need to clarify. Do you mean like in the first minute or hour of the live stream, or somewhere else?
What is the yeah? We're gonna gonna have to be more specific. Haven't watched anything in months. Just keeping track. Track the Your Eternity manga. Yeah. I've been reading a lot more too. These days, because I've still been reading my the usual stuff. I don't have to like bring up this because I would probably be bringing up like the same like 5 or 6 things I've been reading because that's all that's been getting updates. You see, so that's kind of the problem.
I have for you a funny 4th chapter of a manga that you might want to read. It's funny. It's short. It's a It's a web manga, but it's funny and has 4 chapters. Who knows how long it will go on?
You wanted to fight me in real life? Yeah. Okay. Sounds pretty good. I might have to read that later, maybe. There was yeah. There was just the usual. So yeah, other than that, I don't know. Is there anything else on the docket that we want to cover or talk about?
Not necessarily.
I mean, we could do a quick little as we kind of do an outro. We could talk about the what's happening with the channel, because I guess if people haven't noticed yet, we have new avatar, we have new banner. We're gonna probably get a new stream overlay at some point in the near-ish.
We might get a new strike.
Might get removed from YouTube because Katakawa wants to destroy us. Kind of depends on what happened. So yeah, it's we're redoing a few things. We're gonna be trying to get more content out. Like I said, we're gonna aim for 1 stream a week, but we're not committing to it.
No, more like let's do a weekly for a month, and then maybe every 2 weeks. I think that's
we'll see. Well, we'll see how we go, right?
Yeah,
because it all depends on like if we have something we want to cover, if there's anything to really talk about that's worth talking about.
I mean, if we're going to a little bit meta, a little bit behind the scenes again, like we did last week.
But,
I kind of like doing a video, doing some dumb Twitter drama from you and me, or one or the other.
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah, we might start. We're currently like in the process of refining the format, basically. Where we're like, okay, we'll cover a video maybe, depending on how long it takes for us to get through the video. We'll do some Twitter drama or talk about some random bullshit, and then maybe we'll talk about what we've been watching, anime seasonal stuff and other nonsense like that, and we'll kind of try and have a bit of a set format going forward.
Yep.
Since we're live streaming now and not doing the pre-recorded system that we were doing back in the day.
I am going to try to refine my scene switching, well, that comes with the overlays as well.
Yeah, the algorithm breaker format. Yeah, pretty much.
Well, actually, very funnily, this reaction thing we're doing, we did it before it was popular, and now we're kind of chasing the trend of doing it live.
Talk about Twitter drama. Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes I remember when we were doing the pre-recordeds, I would bring up like, oh, there's this random Twitter drama that happened. Talk about it for a minute.
Yeah, but then I would ignore it because I wasn't.
Then you would ignore it because you don't give a shit. Yeah.
This is the first Twitter drama that I ever really found myself. This drama of the translation.
Also, our boy found my Twitter and he linked to me murder drones. And yes, I believe it is the thing that Jerry Freeman had a video on once before he retired. I think I recall seeing him do a video on it. So yeah, I might check it out. I don't make any promises on that though, because I'm notorious for being like, yeah, I'll check that out, and then like 5 months later, I still haven't fucking watched it. Because that's just be how it is. It's just yeah. So yeah. pretty much, I think that's going to be it for us today. It was good chatting with everyone. It's good to have some people in the stream chat. And I guess we'll catch everyone next time.
Yeah.
I see you're
hands on the bottom
through all of your things.
Hand on the button. Yeah. Well, goodbye till next time, next week probably.
Yeah. Bye.
It should have ended.
Oh.